Well, hello there to all the good people of Ohio and beyond. This is Aaron Knapp, and you're tuned into Unplugged, broadcasting without permission. This is a place where the truth gets louder and we dig deeper, and where we always remember be lawful, not awful. If you want the full stories, the documents, the videos, and everything they don't want you to see, head on over to AaronKnappUnplugged.com, my new home for every investigation, every episode, and every update. And while you're here, be sure to like the video, follow the page, and hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs the truth. We're building something real here. We're building something fearless, and we're doing it together. Welcome to Unplugged. Let's kick this thing off.
Down to all of our departments and assure that as part of our regular checklist that we have for many projects, that we can visit this. This is not a common area because we typically don't waive fees. So it's one of those areas that we'll revisit here as we move along.
Thank you, Mr. Carrion.
Say something? Then why aren't we? Say something? Then why are we? You want to get an attitude? You work for me, Carry On. Yeah, get it. Do it.
Mr. Knapp, let's have it.
No, your employee is addressing me, sir. No.
Excuse me, President Arredondo.
Plug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. Yeah, we cut through the noise. No script, no leash, no polished decoys. Broadcasting without permission. We don't ask. We lift the curtain and we drop the mask. Unplug with Nap. We cut through the noise. No script.
I enjoyed my own song a little too much. Good evening there, Lorain, Ohio, Lorain County, and all the other people around the world listening in on our podcast tonight. Either today, tonight, tomorrow, next week, or long after I'm gone. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Tonight we got an exciting episode. Tonight we got victory. That's right, folks. We are back in the City Hall. And tonight we're going to talk about a lot of things. I've got some newfound freedom. It came from, for those that pay attention to my my podcast, or not my page, I've been really busy lately. I apologize. I haven't done a live in a while. Obviously, I've been dealing with fighting this city battle. And I want to change the word from city to silly, because it is silly that I'm even having this fight. And I also want to say this to all those people out there that are always rambling on, oh, you're crazy, you're this, you're that. You know what? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe fuck you a little, because again, you don't care about my mental health enough to be involved in my life or be around me, but yet you're involved enough to judge me online. So I got it. I get it. Hey, Nick. And so, look, here's the deal. When you guys come at me and you say, doesn't it bother you that everyone hates you? Well, no, everyone doesn't hate me. The people that I love and care about me. You know, they're here. I see Nikki here. I see Garen there that checks in on me all the time. You know, I have Amber who calls me and checks in on me. You know, I have my attorney, Robert, who, while, again, much to my, one of the judges, dismay, he's not my friend as much as he's my attorney. In everything but this one matter. And for those that talk about this one matter, you know, that's what we're going to get into tonight is the City Hall trespass ban, and, you know, why I chose to do it the way I did. Well, I've told people 1,000 times, not like anyone listens to me, that I have all of my paperwork back there. I fought in the Supreme Court of Idaho. I fought for custody of my child. I get how these things work. I understand. And so I'm not stupid. And I would also say that, unfortunately for the city and those around, and I know they're watching right now. So for those of you with the city watching and recording for your court case, I'm just going to say, hi. Just remember this. You guys started this. You broke the law. You continue to break the law. And you played a very dangerous game with taxpayer dollars that really isn't paying off for you any more than it's paying off for the commissioners fighting with the sheriff fighting with the commissioners, the courts fighting with the commissioners fighting with the courts. and here I am on the outside, and I got to beef with all of you. So, what's up? What's up, Michelle? How you doing? So, anyway, guys, like, this is where we stand tonight. Like, for those of you that don't know, I won today in my temporary restraining order. And for those that don't realize how this case is going to work, that basically means I'm going to win the next one. I mean, you're going to have a hard time winning the injunction if you can't win this, because this was your proof. You guys, the bottom line for what they're dealing with right now is that what they did was they banned me and cost me my fundamental constitutional rights for over a month. Now, I know a lot of people in here, you don't care, you do what you do, you laugh, you play, you joke. You don't understand why a veteran would want to fight for, that Constitution, right? Like, that thing's on my wall. You don't get why, I go out and I try to educate people on what I believe, because I did serve our country. And for those that out there, and I know there's a lot of you that like to talk a lot of shit about me not. I mean, again, it's back there. It's there to see. I'm not gonna justify my veteranness or anything. I'm no better than any other citizen because I am a veteran. It's just a moniker, any more than anyone else uses a moniker to describe themselves. So you get into that shit, and we start to get into problems. But the long and short of it was, the city's been looking for a route to do this for a while. For the naysayers out there who always come in, they say it. But if you look, thank you, I appreciate that. The naysayers are going to come in and go, "You're an asshole. You're a thorn on their side. You're a pain. Why do you do this? Why do you do that?" Well, because I can. Because it's lawfully. Because it's what you're supposed to do as a good government steward. If you're a citizen of the United States of America and you say, "Well, I didn't serve, but thank you for your service," as just happened, right? Thank you for your service. Thank me for my service. Well, you know how you do that? Instead of saying thank you for your service, you vote. And it doesn't matter. You don't vote for what I want. You vote for what you want. Instead of saying thank you for your service, you participate. Instead of saying thank you for your service, you go to city council meetings, you go to county commissioner meetings. Instead of saying thank you for your service, you don't shit on a veteran online. You actually go express your opinions on the people that matter. Because for everybody that comes here to yell at me or be mad at me, I don't really fucking matter. Like, you're not winning any battles with me. You can fight me all day long. I love the fight, all right? Like, you're talking to a guy that has Sun Tzu in his damn bookshelf. Like, you guys, when you come at me like that, I'm just like, that meme with the dude in the yellow jacket? I think he passed away. He was a really amazing comedian. I don't know. Maybe he didn't pass away. I just remember there's a guy. I think he's a comedian. He's doing this in a yellow jacket behind the trees like this. He's just getting all ready, right? And that's I get it. I'm difficult to like. I'm difficult to be around. But I'm not wrong, and that's the problem. You guys are out there talking all this crap about I'm this, I'm that, I'm weak. I'm not the safety service director of a city filing a protection order against a citizen because he said mean things. Oh no. There we go. Oh no, Muffin. It's so hard being you. Now, I'm going to give him some leeway tonight because I'm going to say this because I have to. Just because we fight the good fight doesn't mean we're not human beings, right? We're all human. And I get Ray had several moments of humanity. And the problem I have with the government is that not that they're human, it's that they can never acknowledge their humanity. Now, in Ray's case, I acknowledge he's a douche nozzle and has been a douche nozzle multiple times. Then again, so have I. I do want to acknowledge this. Apparently, his father passed away. Before I move any further into this podcast, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, screw that guy. Like, nobody deserves to lose their father, their parents. It's a sad time for him, and I respect that. And so my conversation's about his previous actions. It's not about what's going on right now, but for what's going on right now, for losing his father, that's something that no human well, I mean, it's something every human has to deal with, but it's something that as a son is very difficult to deal with. And so I respect that about him right now, that he's going through that, but you don't get to just do whatever you want. In most cases when you're the government. I know everybody says, well, they can do it to you. Well, no, they can't, because they're not me. But all right, so let's get started here. I always do have kind of a general script going, and I kind of threw one of those together tonight just so we can know, and for the record, I'm having a couple because celebrations to Aaron. So what we're going to talk about here tonight is what's been going on. I'm not going to rush through any of it because it needs to be explained clearly, slowly, full context, as best I can. Because right now there's a version of events being pushed, and there's one that actually happened. Now, those two things aren't the same. If you don't slow down and walk through it piece by piece, it's very easy for people to hear one thing and come away with a completely different understanding of what actually took place. And I know I've been quiet on the forums lately. Like I said, I had to focus on this motion. I submitted over 863 pages of case law, or no, 683 pages of case law in my records today. Because I didn't want them accusing me of anything. And we're going to get into that too, because there was some accusations. So before I get into anything else, if you don't understand this part, nothing else that follows is going to make sense. So this is the piece you have to hear. This has now and always will be about one thing: freedom of speech. Not tone, not personality, not whether someone is in the government felt uncomfortable or didn't like what I said or what was said. Because if discomfort becomes the standard, then rights don't exist anymore. Someone will always be uncomfortable with being criticized and with criticism. That's the nature of it. Right. No, you should never stop advocating for yourself and your family and all your fucks that can be given, should be given towards that cause, for the record. I'm just going to say that out loud. And again, if you want no other proof of it, right here, right? I get it. It's not a huge, major, fact-ending victory. But it's the first step in many steps that have to be taken according to these books back here about social work that I always thought were mamby-pamby, but they apparently seem to work pretty damn well because everything I'm doing is right out of those books. Maybe not in the way I say them or do them, but I understand the nature of the beast, and so that's the key. Now, that's exactly why the First Amendment exists, right? It does not exist to protect polite speech. Polite speech doesn't need protection. The only speech that ever needs protection is a speech that creates tension, and that challenges authority. That calls things out and makes people in power uncomfortable. Now, the problem with that is that, and what I've been doing is showing up to these public meetings, speaking, questioning officials, recording what happens in a public building, and criticizing the government and their conduct. And that's it. That's the full scope of what's going on here. For those that say, what's your end goal? What are you doing? Like, what's your, what are you doing? Well, I'm criticizing the government. The thing is pretty fucking obvious. These guys are assholes, and they need someone to criticize them sometimes. Then again, who better to criticize a bunch of assholes than an asshole? I've never claimed to be anything but. That's the difference between me and the government. They are assholes, and they pretend not to be. They pretend to be nice. Mayor Bradley, who's up there whispering in his little baby lawyer's ear the whole time that they lost. I mean, they lost to me, guys. They got their ass kicked. Say what you want. I'm a pro se litigant. I will say this. I do have well over 12 years, 13 years in litigation experience. A little side note. So what most people don't know about me, and we're going to have a little fun tonight, we're going to have some little tidbits in between about Aaron. So you guys know I didn't come from here, right? I came from Idaho. And before that, I came from California. So my mom's a Democrat, and I'm a Republican, and she hates them. Now, fast forward. I still do everything that I do feels very Democratic in the way that I'm very social worky, and I do a lot of these things that way. But I cut my teeth on these cases in Idaho, and I understood everything. I understood plagiarism is the finest form of legalese. and I understood how to read the laws, and I understood reading them. This was long before AI. So here we go. I fought for over a decade in the Supreme Court of Idaho. I fought tooth and nail. Like I ended up losing in the Supreme Court, but when I lost, I intended to lose. Like I knew that they weren't listening to me; they were listening to the judge, and so I wrote this really mean motion. You can probably still find it in court today. I was just talking mad shit, right? And that's the difference. As a pro se litigant, sometimes you can do that. And I'd already won in the vexatious litigant category, so they were a little shy about going after me on that. And I was just calling it like I saw it. And again, they get mad about that. They're like, "Oh, you can't say that." Well, why? Because it's the truth? No, you just can't say it. Well, I beg to differ. You don't want me to say it. That's different. So I said everything. I said all the quiet parts out loud. I hated that. All the way till we got in the very end. And I kept her, and there'd been this big fight. Ended up in Idaho, from Idaho to Ohio, from Ohio to Utah. They let my ex move out of state with my daughter under an ongoing investigation while she was being abused. So I had this knowledge, this background with these courts and with the way these people operate. And that last motion I wrote to the magistrate court was actually literally just the same motion I sent to the Supreme Court. Didn't change shit. And they're like, you didn't change anything. I said, yeah. Aim for the court you want to be in, not the court you're in. And that's what I said in this case. I'm not writing my case to be in the Lorraine courts. I learned in the Idaho courts that the magistrate judges, and Nikki can attest to this, and I'm sure her friend here, Michelle, can attest to this, are a bunch of suck asses to law enforcement. My friend, Mr. Ballot, who has come out recently and supported me and stated that he understood what they were doing at the courts, putting my picture up on the glass windows at the wall and blackballing me. That's not what the courts are supposed to do. They're not on the side of law enforcement on the side of them. Like, in fact, law enforcement doesn't have a side other than the law. And the courts shouldn't have a side other than the law. They'll have a role. So when they start calling each other partners, I have a problem with that. Mr. Ballard had a problem with that. Fairly sure a lot of you have a problem with that. And that's kind of where we ended up. So after I got done kicking all their asses there, I got a lawyer in Utah who was willing to ghostwrite me. So basically, you pay me to represent you. I write all the case law, I send it over to him, and then he fixes it, takes it, and as long as you're doing the work, doing the research, doing all the work, and then he puts it all together, he adds his touches to it, and then he confirms it's all correct and signs off on it. That saves you money. And I did that, and I won within, I think it was like a month of being in Utah. But what finally happened in that Idaho case was the judge, when it came back, he said, "Hey, counsel, did you read this motion?" And I remember poor Brett Anthony. He said, "No, Your Honor, I don't read anything he writes anymore. Not we're 10 years in. I get it. I'm the bane of his existence. For those of you that see me here, that's how I learned it. This guy was at his wit's end, and he's like, Your Honor, I don't read anything he files." And the judge just says, I'll never forget it. He says, "Hey, counsel," he was a newer judge because my old judge, Judge Buller, was gone. "I highly suggest you read this. And based on this, I'm going to use discretion," which is, you can't move that, "and move it to Utah." Because at the last minute, I said, send it to Utah instead of Ohio. Well, once I went to Utah, I won. I knew that because I knew Idaho was hiding something. That's how I knew government didn't always tell the truth. Cops lie. Government lies. People lie. People go online, they talk shit. People like Patrick Horn talk shit. People like Mary talk shit. Mary Springhouse. I want to be clear because I don't want the other Marys thinking something. People like even Mr. Carrion. And again, for all these people that get mad at me and say, "Oh, now he's saying I'm stalked." Dude, I don't want to stalk you. Fuck off. Like, for any of you to think you're that fucking important, give me a break. Like, I have much better things to do. I'd much rather take a crap and wash my hair than deal with you people. But you force me to because you're idiots, and you stick us, the people, forced to deal with you because you waste our money suing each other, and then it's never out of your pocket. I guarantee you, if we passed a law that said you had to pay for your own fucking attorneys, you guys would pull your heads out of your asses quicker than shit. But I digress. So yeah, I did all that. To this day, I'm shocked about it. I gave up a lot to do all that, including probably what was the love of my life. But I did it for my daughter, and in the process, I learned something. I learned something valuable about me, that I don't give up. That I'm very educated when it comes to this stuff, and I like the law. I'm not going to become a law student. I'm not going to even go back to work now because, thanks to the city of Lorraine and their chief of police and the courts here in Lorraine and everyone, here's what happened. So I had just come back from disability. I had my PTSD under control. I was doing great. The VA loved it. They'd send me to school. I'm going to be a social worker. And I started doing all those things the VA tells me to do. And then the city of Lorraine comes along. First, Chief McCann with the first complaints. And then they hammer into moving into the next set. And then just keep going. McCann's gone, but they're still there. So I can no longer find gainful employment. I've asked. It's been answered multiple times. The county refused to hire me. I can't go back to Applewood. I can't go to any of these places. So unemployable. So the VA looks at that and they go, well, your PTSD was exasperated by the county and the city because of their actions, and because specifically of Chief McCann's actions against you. You can't find work, and because you can't find work, we're not going to pay you for the rest of your life as a disabled veteran. And I know we were paying you before, but now we're going to pay you more because we do realize now that your disability is much more than what we thought. And we can look at that now and go, oh, and these people have now exasperated that. So I guess thanks. Because now I'm 100%. Oh yeah, the gal. I mean, the gal woman, and then the problem is with the gals is that all these. Oh God, look! Oh look, it's Felix. Felix the Dick, the wonderful, wonderful Dick. He talks about a crying man. He says he wants to cry, oh man, but all I see is Felix the Dick, the big, big old Dick. His name is Felix. He's a dick, and he always comes in and tries to talk shit. Oh no, it's Felix. I'm so sad. He's gonna say, "Don't cry." Hey Felix, how about? Oh, I'm not crying. I won, bitch. Please, why would I cry? I won, and to top it all off, because of this, it's gonna get even worse for your boy Carrion and crew. So go, crack it up. You were the one of the group saying that I was going to lose, right? But I didn't. Even in a stacked deck, I didn't lose. So, fuck off. Instead of addressing that directly, let's, what we've seen is an attempt to turn it into something else, right? Something that sounds more serious when you remove the context. And when you shift timelines and you take one statement and isolate it from everything around it. Now, what I'm going to do here is kind of slow it down a little bit and walk you through what actually happened and apply a lot of those facts because that's what actually matters. And we'll start with what happened. Now, I've obviously been attending, these city council meetings regularly. I go there, I sit, I listen, I speak when it's appropriate. And yes, I make comments. Sometimes I make comments to the person next to me. Sometimes I ask questions. Sometimes I challenge what's being said. That's normal behavior in a public meeting. That's not unusual. That's not disruptive by itself. That's part of being present in a public government space, right? Now, the October 20th meeting, which they rely heavily on, and I do too as well, I didn't get up. I didn't approach anyone. I didn't make threats. I remained seated the entire time. And this isn't disputed by the actual record. It's not disputed by the video. What actually happened is I made a comment to Garen, who was sitting next to me. I said, then why are we? And that happens all the time. Anyone who ever has been in a public meeting knows people whisper to each other. I mean, hell, that's how Jade and Paula ended up talking to the police chief that day. They said something out loud. It happens. People react quietly to what's being said. That's not illegal. And it's not even illegal in the rules. And so what changed the situation is that Ray Carrion turned and engaged me. He initiated that interaction. He raised his voice first. And once that happened, the situation escalated, right? That matters because I didn't initiate the confrontation. I responded to one. Now, he's saying also in his little restraining order here, Mr. Ray, the Mr. Macho guy, who's apparently scared of a 100% disabled veteran who can't fight, who gets his ass kicked by an old man in a bar. And you guys all make fun of him, but yet Ray needs protection from the courts, from a guy, from his words. Oh no, his words make me sad because Ray said I was belligerent to him on October 20th during the engagement with City Council. Can you tell me
all
what?
of our departments and assure that as part of our regular checklist that we have for many projects, that we can visit this. This is not a common area because we typically don't waive fees. So it's one of those areas that we'll revisit here as we move along.
Thank you, Mr. Carrion.
Say something? Then why aren't we? Say something? Then why are we? You want to get an attitude? You work for me, Carry On. Yeah, get it. Do it.
Mr. Knapp, let's have it.
No, your employee is addressing me, sir. No.
Excuse me, President Arredondo.
You better calm down.
President Arredondo.
Madam Spurkowski.
At this point, I would move to a point of order and ask to recess the meeting until.
The problem with that, so you guys just heard that. So when I go to his protection order that he filed on the 11th, that he thought was going to coincide with them winning the case, because in here they say I'm trespassed from City Hall. I've never been trespassed from City Hall. An administrative order asking me to leave. Oh gosh, poor Ray. Ray. I mean, Ray, you lied, my friend. On October 20th, this meeting right here that you just listened to, shortly thereafter, I mean, nothing happened beyond that. That was it. He says, respondent. Oh, God, dude, you have the worst handwriting of anyone I've ever seen. Don't do cursive. Respondent attended a Lorain City Council meeting and made derogatory comments towards me. Period. Okay, where? I mean, I didn't hear any derogatory comments there. You work for me as derogatory now? He also said that, and I don't know what the fuck that is. All right, like, look, this is supposed to be one something. That's supposed to be like, I can't read the date. When I look at the dates, they don't match up to a planning commission meeting. I'm assuming it's during the time I was hanging out down there to get my records. He's claiming, he says on 1/26, at a planning commission meeting, the respondent made derogatory comments towards me. Oh, no. So now if we make derogatory comments towards Ray, you get a restraining order. You get your firearm rights taken away. You get your freedoms taken away. Then, of course, we fast forward to the 216 meeting. Respondent confronted me, followed me outside City Hall and said in a video, quote, I'm going to fuck them all up, end quote, or something similar. Video available. So if you're deadly afraid of someone who you just chest bumped and slammed the door on and got in his face and made all kinds of creepy smiley faces at, a guy who had a previous report in against you for yelling at him in that meeting and violating the Open Meetings Act. And again, none of this stuff, going back to October, did you ever report prior to this, right? But yet suddenly here in March, so October, November, December, January, February, March. So 5 months later. So over 5 months, you claim that on 10/20, I made derogatory remarks to you, but we just heard I didn't. I have it right here. I mean, it's literally right here. I can play it anytime I
This needs all
want.
straightened out because this is disruptive to our agenda.
I was never derogatory to Ray in that. And then we go to the 216 meeting. And they go to the very end when I'm talking to Nikki. You remember when we were standing outside the car, Nikki, and everyone had left and it was just me and you and it was cold and I was loading my equipment up in the car. And when I said you, when we were joking, just kind of chatting around like it was just me and you, and I said, oh man, I'm going to fuck these people up, right? They're trying to use that and say that I'm going to cause harm to them. But you were there. How did you take my demeanor in that moment? Do you think I was going to cause physical harm to these people? Or do you think, as I always say, I'm going to eviscerate them in fiction? And that's always the question. You know, that they think that when I said I'm going to fuck these people up, that I wanted to hurt them. We all know I couldn't fight my way out of a wet paper bag. If anyone's going to do anything like that, it'd be one of my other friends. I mean, shit, honestly, I bet you Nikki could kick my ass and everybody else that gets in the way of you. You know, so, I mean, I just look at these people. They think that I said I'm going to fuck these people up in a way to be aggressive, and it wasn't. It was just, that's how I talk. I mean, if I'm talking to Nikki, a friend, someone, you know, that I've talked to a lot, and we say that a lot. We say different things like that a lot. Intent matters. Situation matters. Was the person present? That all matters. But yet Ray says, in this, he doesn't say, he just says, I said in a video, I'm going to fuck them all up. Or something to that effect. I think I said these people. So again, I didn't identify one person. I didn't say it to one person. And the only person I did say it to was Nikki. So, wait, what? Yes, I am a big mouth intentionally. And that's what I try to tell people. Like, all right, so imagine this. Imagine a world where they didn't do exactly what I thought they were going to do every single fucking time. I have ADHD. I'm narcissistically, I will say this out loud, I'm highly intelligent. And I only know that because I got good grades. I graduated. I did everything I was supposed to do. I followed all the check boxes, and people still come to me. If I'm not highly intelligent, you know, then why did the sheriff ask multiple times for my advice? I have it all. You know, everybody wants to pretend like they don't want my advice, but yet they do. I mean, okay, so if you support Sheriff Hall and you think I'm an idiot, then why did Sheriff Hall ask me for my advice on everything? Why was I not wrong about this whole court thing? And again, I get it. You guys are right. I'm a total douche nozzle. I get it. I'm yelling at these guys after, but the thing you don't want to acknowledge is he hit me with a door. And any one of you in Lorraine, I know, would do something different because I've seen you do it. You beat the living shit out of me when I did something that was remotely obtuse to you. And yet, this guy was allowed to hit me with a door and chest bump me, and you guys are okay with it? Yeah, I see it. It's only a problem if it's, you know, against you. But there's another piece to all this that I can't, you know, you can't really ignore, and I can't ignore it, is that I've already informed the city about my PTSD. And there's little Mr. Felix the cat, and anybody else might say, oh, don't cry. Well, I'm not crying. It's a fact. I have PTSD. I don't give a fuck. You say I'm crying. Do I look like I give a shit about having it? I don't, because I don't have feelings about that either. It's an emotional disconnect caused by the PTSD. So you want me to feel sad for, you say I feel sad for saying I have PTSD. But to me, it's just a matter of fact. To me, I just want you to understand who I am. I don't really give a fuck if you care how I act. I really don't give a fuck if anyone cares how I act. It's none of your fucking business. I can say what I want, do what I want, as long as I'm not threatening you, yelling fire in a building, doing dumb shit that I don't ever do. Everything I've done has been on city property. Everything I've done, I've never confronted Ray in public. He's written in emails that he's seen me in public, and we don't even speak. He walks right past me and says nothing. I have anxiety about talking to people, especially in large groups. So I don't confront these people outright. So when I walk down a hallway and I say things out loud and you respond to me and hit me with a door and I get triggered, and you go on to talk about my triggers in this restraining order as if my mental health is some sort of a joke, and that you as the safety service director understand that, and you don't, when I've had interactions going with you going all the way back to when you were counsel, sitting on my front porch, lying to my fucking face about what James McCann did and telling me that the emails didn't exist. And then I have you in emails telling other city officials, Mary Springowski, that you were looking for a way to legally deal with me. Well, you found it. And your argument is the 3 incidences is that I said belligerent things to you or mean things to you on 3 separate occasions. Fuck off. I'm allowed to do that, you big bitch. I'm allowed to say whatever. Again, I'm sorry your dad passed away. Condolences in this time of your life. So when you're done feeling sorry for your family and yourself and life, and you come back to reality, just remember this. I still say fuck you, okay? Because you don't know how to take it. I told you that night you were being aggressive and violent. So I didn't go get a restraining order after the first one, and I definitely didn't go after the second one. Even after he chest bumped me and hit me with a door, I could have. I could have filed that 3 weeks ago, but I'm not a little bitch. I mean, you guys, you wanna talk about it, right? Desapareció en español oprima número dos. Like you talk about Ray, like he's like, he got on my face, he smiled, he was aggressive, he was ready to go. He was showing it. I get it. But I've given them this information. So if I give you a roadmap on how to trigger me, and he even mentions it in here, that he says he knows exactly how to trigger me. He says, respondent is a self-declared gun owner with PTSD. And that's what he thinks of anyone that owns a gun, apparently. And other psychological conditions. Really? What other psychological conditions, Mr. Expert Ray, do I have besides PTSD? That when triggered, respondent becomes angry, confrontational, and unpredictable. Are you a mental health professional? Or are you just some fucking douchebag that worked his way up to the building department and now thinks he's fucking God's gift? You don't have any mental health, proclivities. How dare you fucking say that to the court about me, you piss drunk cock? Like, that's the fucking bullshit right there. Fuck off. And then he says, respondent currently trespassed from Lorraine City Hall. I wasn't trespassed. I was administratively banned. You got that wrong too, you douche. So you lied in court paperwork. All while you have a pending federal case against you. Oh, and to top it all off, his lawyer, the guy that I'm suing as well, Joseph fucking Levesque, the biggest legal whore in Lorain County. He pimps himself out to and the highest bidder. So the city is representing him in this personal protection order. It's just for him, but Levesque's representing him. Are you guys paying for that too? Oh no, let me rephrase that. Are we paying for that too? But I already told him, I sent him 3 different letters, including an advocate sent them a letter saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And Ray did all of that day. They knew how I'd respond to that direct confrontation. So when someone turns, raises their voice, and directs attention to me in that setting, my response is reactive. It's not calculated. It's not an attempt to escalate. It's a reaction being engaged in that way. He even said it in here. His triggers, his triggers, his triggers, my triggers. My triggers matter, Ray. So you, as the safety service director, instead of respecting them, you aggravated them, and then you became the aggressor, and you chest bumped me, and you hit me with a door. And you guys can argue that that's not true, but I got their lawyer, and they're going, okay, well, did you get hurt? So now they've shifted it from, well, you didn't necessarily not get hit by the door, but did it hurt your foot? Did it hurt your arm? Did you seek medical attention? Well, yeah, the VA stopped me from ever working again and is now sending me to the TBI clinic. So you guys have managed in 3 years to undo what the VA was trying to do for 6 years, and they're not too happy about it. And now they're going to pay me for the rest of my life at my full service connected rate. So really all the city of Lorain did was give me double what I was making before by stealing my job tax-free. So, well done. Well done, Jack Bradley and crew. You guys at the Lorain Law Department, you guys are amazing. Like, let me just say, you managed to take a veteran who was disabled and making way less money, put himself through school, got in a position to make a decent amount of money, and now you caused him to be permanently and utterly disabled because of your actions, and he can't maintain a work and has mental health issues that are exacerbated by your behaviors. It's been clearly documented over the last 3 years by the VA, and I've made sure to document every last bit of it. So, where do you guys think this is going to go in the federal lawsuit? What do you think is going to happen when we get to the federal lawsuit? And I filed my restraining order on that. And I say, look, Your Honor, the city has retaliated against me multiple times, from the mayor down, and they don't care. And I need some relief. I mean, how much money do you think that it's going to take to make me whole? And how much will the taxpayers have to pay? Because it's not going to be Bradley and crew. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about you. Ray doesn't care about you. Bradley doesn't care about you. None of the people in that council even care about you. Victoria pretended to be my friend all this time. Yeah, she drove me to the hospital when I got beat up, but she was also on the phone with me and didn't want to testify. She knows evidence. She has dirt on these people that she doesn't talk about. The old council people do. They don't want to talk because people have dirt on them too. Well, guess what? They don't have dirt on me, and that's why they don't like me. So from the very beginning, the idea that I was the aggressor really doesn't match what actually happened, right? So let's just look at it for a second, because this is where people tend to jump ahead. If you only hear that there was an exchange or that voices were raised, or it's easy to assume both sides are equally responsible. But that sequence is what matters. Who initiated what matters. The setting matters, and that context is what keeps getting lost. He talks about it and says, well, Aaron yelled at me, he cursed at me, he went outside, and at the end of the conversation to a friend, when everyone else had left, he said, I'm going to fuck these people up, after he'd been struck with a door and then chest bumped by a psychotic individual who in the pictures looked psychotic. I mean, you were so close to me that the camera right here caught so close up your nose and nose hairs, I could count them. That's insanely close to anybody. I don't care who you think you are. Even Felix the cat would get annoyed by somebody getting that close to him, and he knows it. If any other man got that close to you, you would fucking knock them the fuck out. Felix the cat knows it. Everybody else knows it. But they like to ignore it when it's me. That's fine. Ignore it. Because I don't fight back. Ignore it. But don't act like you wouldn't do something about it. Because you motherfuckers in Lorraine are all about the beatdown. Don't fucking act like you're not about the beatdown. That motherfucker got in my face, and there's not a man in this town that would allow him to do what he did to me, to you, and not knock him the fuck out and consider themselves justified. So, now let's move to the January claim, because that's where things start to break down factually. Let me rephrase that. Ray claims, Ray signed it, that I made derogatory comments at some January meeting, right? But the date itself isn't even clear. I showed you earlier when we look at it. I tried to look up the meeting, pull up the video, figure out what video it is. So he makes these random claims about me making derogatory claims about him. But look, who can read that date? 1-something 26. He says, again, I read it earlier. He says that at a planning commission meeting, the respondent made derogatory comments towards me. Derogatory? Was that stalking? Did I threaten you? I don't remember being at that meeting. The fact that I know you don't. You wrote it like it was January 6th, but something that looks like that. But the city council meetings the planning meetings are held on the first Wednesday of every month. In January, that was the 7th. So right away, we have a problem. The date isn't even clear. When you're asking the court to restrict someone's rights, which they fucking did, on his word, details matter, precision matters. He restricted my fundamental rights based on his bullshit word. You can't even get the date of the meeting right, then you shouldn't be accusing people of it. But it goes further than that. There's no specific statement identified, right? There's no quote. There's no explanation of what was said. No context. No description of how it violated any rule. Just labeled as derogatory comments. Your Honor, he made derogatory comments towards me. It hurt me. It made me feel sad. It hurt my delicate sensibilities. And now my life and my wife are less than. My wife won't make love to me anymore because she saw me get chowed out by a white man who said something that hurt my feelings. And because I didn't beat him down immediately, she can no longer love me. Give me a break. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous that a grown-ass man who had the balls to get in my face, balls to set his damn bag down and his jacket down to slam a door on me, and then Carissa's little fucking multicolored hair, Christmas light ass, can't fucking open up and be honest about anything. Give me a fucking break. This place is so fucking wrong, it's not even funny. Most of the people here are so wrong that they're not ever going to be right. All they got is 2 left feet because they can't have a right foot, because that means they'd actually be right every once in a while. You can't restrict someone's rights based on a statement that you can't even clearly identify. That's not evidence. That's a vague allegation. And it's kind of being a dick. Now let's stop at that word for a minute, derogatory, because that word's doing a lot of heavy lifting for Ray. There's no law that says you lose your rights because someone describes your speech as derogatory. Who the fuck does Dezort thinking she is writing a fucking restraining order on that kind of dumbass language. The word's subjective. One person's derogatory is another person's criticism, another person's opinion, another person's truth. Hell, might even be another person's turn on. You tell one person they're, dirty piece of shit, and they're like, oh, I'm sad. And you tell somebody else, you dirty piece of shit, and they're like, you're right. Tell me more. I am a dirty piece of shit. I mean, come on. See, it's all subjective. Everything. Your feelings. They don't matter. Because if it did, rights would depend entirely on how someone felt about what you said. And it doesn't matter how they felt. Fuck your feelings. I'm sorry. Now that I have my full-time disability, now that I'm 100% service-connected, now that I no longer have to worry about anything, I'm going to be paid tax-free for the rest of my life because of the city of Lorain fucking me over so many times that they, you guys want to argue, oh, he's crazy. Well, yeah, I used half your statements in my VA disability statement to show them what you guys were doing. So if derogatory becomes the standard, then anything becomes punishable. Disagreements become punishable. Calling something out becomes punishable. Even asking hard questions becomes punishable, but that's not how the law works. For this civil protection order, there has to be a pattern of conduct. There has to be 2 events. He named 3, but they weren't credible. There has to be a credible threat. There has to be behavior that causes a reasonable fear, not a vague statement, not unidentified comments, not someone saying, I didn't like what he said, boo fucking who. You're such a cry. You call me a crybaby, Felix the Cat. Check out Ray, man. So when you hear derogatory comments, understand that's not a legal standard. That's a label. Then labels don't remove rights. Now let's talk about the statement they rely on the most because that's where they get stripped away, right? The phrase, I'm going to fuck them all up, which Nikki was present for. End of the night, everyone's gone. We're at the car. It's cold as fuck. We're trying to get away. We're trying to leave. Now, when people hear that by itself, there's no context. It does sound extreme. It sounds serious. And when they asked me, did you say that? And I was like, yeah, I did say it. And it's exactly why it gets used the way it does, because the law doesn't operate on isolated phrases. It has to operate on context. And the actual context is the statement was not said during the meeting. It wasn't even directed at Ray Carrion. It wasn't communicated to him. He never heard it. The interaction was inside. The interaction inside had already ended. Everything had already been done. Ray had gotten in his car and left. Everyone had left. So Ray is no longer there, no longer the threat, no longer even on the premises. And I say to Nikki, I'm going to fuck these people up. And she knows what that means. It means I'm going to eviscerate them in fiction. I'm going to write stories. I'm going to do what I do best. Educate. The interaction inside, that's done. People already left. They were gone. I made the statement to a third party in Nikki. He never heard it when it was said. The only reason it becomes part of the narrative is because someone else told him later. And I left it in the video because I don't cut anything out. Because I'm honest. I tell everybody, it's everything. It's all or nothing. I'm not going to tell Paula and Jane, no, I won't turn my video cameras off for them. And then I'll keep talking to people and not turn my video cameras off for them, but then turn them off for me. What kind of dick would I be? That matters, right? I have to be, even my own words matter. So if I said I'm going to fuck these people up, I meant it. But not as a true threat, because something to be considered a true threat, it has to be directed at something. It has to be communicated to them, and it has to be credible in context. What I said was none of those. It was an expression of frustration after the fact, after being hit twice and yelled at and screamed at and ignored by the police chief. People say things they when they're frustrated. That doesn't automatically make it a threat. Courts don't recognize that. This is what in the courts they call hyperbolic speech. Hyperbolic speech. Hyperbolic speech. Look it up, folks. Not every statement is a threat. Context determines that every time. And when you apply the legal standard here, it does not meet it. Now let's check that claim that I followed him outside, because this is directly contradicted by the video. The video shows that he left Ray is the before me, with Carissa. Him and Carissa were walking out together, still talking. I stopped at the L in the hallway to talk to Demakia. I told Ray I would follow him wherever I wanted, because that actually is true. But as I'm walking up the walkway, I stopped to talk to Demakia, and he keeps going. I didn't follow him. He turned right, went into the little foyer area to leave the building. I go to get carry on from. I go from. I'm sorry. I go from the Machia, who's trying to rationalize everything, to Fallon. As I'm walking to Fallon, you hear the Machia in the background saying, "No one assaulted you, Aaron." Okay, difference of opinion. But he already had his guys back, even though he was the one, just like in the previous incident on the 20th. Ray, let it go, let it go, let it go. The video shows that. And it shows that Ray left long before me. He exited the building first. And then what did he do? He stood outside, right there, right by the exit door, right in front of it, right where I would see him when I walked out. Right? So I finished trying to get Fallon to take my report. No go, right? He says, go to the police. I don't want to go over there. I don't feel comfortable as it is. So as I go to leave, there's Ray. I'm walking out with Fallon. There's Ray. There's everybody right there in front of the door. Just coagulated like a bunch of Brahmin just hanging out. That's where he was at when I exited. He was already there. I didn't follow him there. Ray was right there. I was already triggered. I saw him. Of course, I'm going to run my mouth. I run my mouth. It's not illegal. I'm allowed to say things. You people in Lorraine seem to think saying things equals I can beat the fuck out of you, and you can't. You can't hurt someone, get in their face, chest bump them, or hit them with a door because you don't like what they're saying. Or even if you're a government official because they're following you in what amounts to a public space in a public building. You know, there are reporters that follow, people all the way to their cars. I never went to one car that night. You see me within 30 feet of Fallon's car waving at him and yelling. And Levesque or one of the lawyers asked me, do you think he could hear you? Well, I know he could hear me because he waved back and kind of gave me a. So, yeah, when I'm doing what I'm doing, it all has a purpose. It's not like I'm just randomly doing it. I'm just going fucking crazy, yelling at the top of my lungs. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing something that's going to make you guys feel uncomfortable. And by making you or them feel uncomfortable, it causes the question to be asked and answered by these people. That's the big deal. And that's what I keep trying to tell everybody is like, you got to get the question asked and answered, whatever it may be. And they don't want to ask or answer. They don't want us to ask it and they don't want to answer it. So that's why I force the issue. That's why I go, you are my public servant. 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 I get it. It sucks. It's annoying. Fuck that guy, right? Aaron's an asshole. Yes. And as much as you guys all, a lot of you, not all of you, but a good chunk of you all dislike me, hate my methods, hate the way I do it. I do it for you. And I know you don't believe it. But again, just like Jack Nicholson said, sometimes you just need someone to stand on the fucking wall for you. I get most of you can't do it. So most of you aren't 100% disabled, service-connected veteran who gets a paycheck every month tax-free from the government, who owns his own home, who can do what he wants to do, who doesn't need a job anymore, who actually went back to work because he wanted to be a social worker and wanted to help people and didn't care what the money was. And every job he got, he said, I don't care about the money, the bonuses, I just want to help people. But then your chief of police ended all that and he coordinated with the courts and he did this. And he stole my job away. So when you ask me, what do I want? What do I want back? I want my dignity back. I want my life back. I want my reputation back. But I'm not going to get any of those back. And I'm never going to get a job again. I'm never going to work again. So for everybody online that wants to bag on me or come at me or say bad things about me, fuck you. Fuck you and every fucking hole you own. So far, so deep, and so fucking inside of you. And I hope that whatever is fucking you has a very, very, very bad disease. Not a terminal one, because I want you to live like in The Princess Bride, right? So everyone sees your suffering. Because that's what you've done to a disabled vet whose only crime was to be wanting to go back to work. I could have sat home on the pension before. And now what you've really done is you've taken it beyond that. So, yeah, my approach sucks ass, honestly. I would never recommend my approach to any other human being on the face of this earth. But did I get to my approach today, Nikki? Or did Aaron come by his approach over 3 years of being fucked over? I can go back and look at every single email McCann sent because I have them. I have every email going back to my, God rest her soul, ex-wife. I'm a pack rat when it comes to emails because you never know when you might need them. So I have every email James ever sent me, as well as all the ones he didn't send me that he sent to other people that the city argued. Now, can I forgive everybody? Sure, if maybe they hadn't covered for James. So did Fowling cover for James? Well, he's not now, but he did before, and he might soon be again. Did he cover for Rivera? Fowling covered for Rivera, and so did safety director Carrion. Carrion, and Demakia. And Demakia, who has his own issues, again, was the separator between me and Carrion. In the video, you clearly see him pushing us apart. So really, I mean, people said, he kind of pushed you. Arguably, and as much as everyone wants to say otherwise from watching it, it looks like Carrion's on Ray's side. Now, verbally, he is. And emotionally, he is. But in the moment, I feel like Demakia understands that Ray has lost it, just like he did last time. What the people can't figure out is how my presence, my questions, my attitude, my whatever sets off people so bad. And for the most part, most of them have handled it well. Even Laura Kukowski only walked up in the grocery store and said a couple of choice words to me, but she never acted like Ray did. Never. Give her that. Other people that have come at me, and I know people talk to my friends, they talk to Amber, and they're like, how can you talk to Aaron? Well, because I'm kind of a nice guy. As much as I act like an asshole in public and on the outside to fight for rights, that's because that's my job. I'm a soldier, and we were trained to fix or destroy. And sometimes destroying is fixing. And so, yeah, I'm bothered by a group of individuals. Ray Carrion, I mean, you don't know the history between me and him. He was the 6-word councilman. I begged him for help against McCann for when he was doing this, and they just lied to me. They hid the public policy and procedures that they now put online because of me. So I'm the reason your Lorraine police policy manual is online. I'm the reason you have an African-American chief of police who, even though he's not my favorite person right now, I'm very proud to have put him in office. You can say what you want, but I did. The Middlebrooks case may have brought McCann down, but I'm the one that brought the Middlebrooks case out. And I do thank you to his family, who loves him very much, who has always supported him. And I'm going to tell you this much, Corey. You and I have never met. We've never spoke. And I know I stood up for you a lot during that time. And I know there's still some outstanding questions about what's going on with you and everyone. But I want to remind you of one thing. You have one of the most loving families of a man could ever want. And if I knew nothing else about you, that would be enough. Your daughter loves you. Her wife loves you. Your family loves you. I get it. Some people in Lorena said at times you might have been a dick, but arguably you were a cop. All cops are dicks. You got to be. It's the nature of the beast. The difference is that the people that love you. And in the end, look at it this way. You didn't get your job back when McCann left. And when you look at everything McCann did, maybe they didn't have enough strength to stand up for you, but they definitely stood up for you and the fact they went after McCann for you. So kudos to you, my friend. It was my pleasure to stand up for you. It was my pleasure to stand up for our current safety officer at the schools and whatnot, Mr. Baez. I like Mr. Baez. Not Antonio, not to be confused with him, but Miguel. Love Miguel. Miguel's an awesome guy, and so is his partner. I don't dislike cops, but here lately I'm disliking the cops in this area, including the sheriff, because I don't trust you guys. You guys have failed me so many times. Why would I care? So many again, people go, oh, well, how do you know they failed you? Well, because I'm right. And oh, how do you know you're right? Well, I don't know. Look at that court case. Every single motherfucker out there was saying I was wrong. And I say every single motherfucker because the rest of you weren't saying that, and that's why you're not motherfuckers. I exited afterwards, though. In the end, the video clearly shows in the end that I exited after Ray, and Ray and crew all stayed right there. And yes, I don't leave immediately. I never leave. I freeze. I do these things. I talk. I have a right to be on public sidewalks in a public parking lot in the city hall. I'll never, mark my words, and if you ever see me doing this out in public besides at a public event, I do not confront outside of major public events. I'm not going to go to a street fair and yell at you as a government official. You're there to support the city of Lorraine, and you're there to do your job. And I'm never going to yell at you there. But in that city hall building, in that parking lot, on those hallowed, grounds, every time. That's not following someone though, going outside when they go, or even before they go. That's exiting the building. I didn't follow him outside. He was already outside. My video clearly shows that. And during that interaction, there was physical contact inside. The door made contact. There was the chest bump. So when you look at what happened and you remove the narrative and just look up at the movement and the timing, the idea that I was pursuing him really doesn't hold up. I stopped to talk to Makia. I stopped to talk to Fowling. But yet his protection order seems to state I followed him right the fuck out. That's misleading the court. But then again, Lorraine Law just did that. That's why I brought sanctions against them. So the facts don't match up. Now, this is where I want to slow it down again because everything at this point has been about what was said and what happened. But the bigger issue is what they did in response. The city issued that directive banning me. Luna, sweetie, lay down. Hey, Luna, go lay down. I'll put some lotion on you in a minute, okay? Vinny, stop scratching. My dog has some sort of a chronic ortho skin issue. Her ear gets a little swollen and gutted up, and I've been using this stuff. Somebody was commenting in one of my videos, oh, give your dog, help her. She's itching the whole time. Yeah, I know she itches all the time. I got this stuff that I've been trying to see if it'll help. It's called Boo Boo Butter by Blissful Dog, as well as Blissful Nose Butter, which they weren't great when I put them on her, but I mean, I've already blasted through this. I'm gonna have to buy more. It's almost like putting on, onto a baseball glove, but it actually works on my dog and has been helping her. But I just feel like there's gonna be more. But so anyway, we get to what they did, and the way that they did it. But before we get to the ban and the way they did things, I'm going to take a quick break here. It's been 1 hour and 2 minutes, so we're going to do our first break, our commercial break. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I know it's getting a little bit late. A lot of you have work tomorrow, but you tuned in. You've been here. You've been watching. Look, this is a huge victory. I'm not really acknowledging it as much as I should have because I don't have that kind of emotional range. So you guys should jump up and down for me, and have that emotional range because this is a huge victory. Like the courts recognized for once and sided with the civilian. And any one of you that's ever been pro se, any one of you that's ever been in court with a lawyer knows the feeling of losing and how it feels like the system is always stacked against you. So even to have this little bit of a win, even if it's a temporary break and a reprieve to let me in for a few days, the problem they're going to have with that reprieve is my federal lawsuit that's been pending that I haven't gotten back around to yet is going to be a problem for them now because what they have is 1 month of retaliatory behavior that was unjustified under the law. That's going to amp up that federal lawsuit. So by the time I get back around, which is the next few days this week, I'm going to be filing a bunch more on that and getting that back rolling again. That number is going to go way up for the city and for their insurance company. When I move to Texas, I'm going to be rich. And when I move to Texas, I'm going to also make sure that the city of Lorain has some things. I'm going to buy a park or two. I'm going to fix a street or two. If I can't get them to do it for themselves, then I'll just sue them until the insurance company gives me the money and I'll fix that. I will be taking names for streets that I fix and, donations once we get the money. Maybe I don't put it all in and we say halfway gets to name it. I don't know, but we're going to fix some shit. And I'm not going to do it as a councilman. I don't want to be councilman. I don't want to be 6-ward councilman. I know people think I did that royal bullshit. First off, I'm just going to address that really quick because I haven't been online. I'm not that fucking ignorant. Puerto Ricans are Americans. Go fuck yourself. My daughter's Hispanic and she doesn't look it, but she is. So if you have a problem with Hispanic people, if you have a problem with Puerto Rican people, which are Americans, if you have a problem with any Hispanic person or any person of color or any person other than a person that's being an asshole directly to you, you don't like them because of their skin color or their religion or their race or their whatever, go fuck yourself. Angel Arroyo, I may not like his politics. I may not like him as a human. But I damn sure don't fucking respect anybody that would say he's a bad person for being a fucking Puerto Rican. And I'll stand next to him and knock the fuck out of anybody that says that in front of him. And that ICE comment, oh my fucking God. Come on. It's so fucking ignorant. I mean, even if you were a person that someone was going to listen to when you say dumb shit like that, no one's going to ever listen to you. That should have been your first clue that was not me. I would never say something like that. And again, I don't believe Puerto Ricans are... That's a nationality, in my opinion. Not even really that, because you're Americans. I mean, but it's not a race per se. Puerto Ricans are a mixed multicultural heritage of multiple races with a broad textural background. And again, they just did some great shit in the World Heritage Baseball Cup. That being said, my daughter's mom is Hispanic, and I take offense to anybody that would think that I would support any kind of racist topics about Hispanics when my daughter is one. So, for that record, when it comes to Angel Arroyo, fuck yourself. Okay, not Angel, but the people that would accuse me of doing that. I would never do that. I say you look at the notes, look at the writing, and that's the other problem. I don't articulate myself in that manner. I would be utterly embarrassed to put my handwriting down if that was what I wrote. No, my mother would kick my ass. So I stand with Angel. I stand with Sabrina. I stand. If Angel didn't write this, which everyone keeps saying he did, I'm not going to say that because I don't know. I mean, I don't think someone would write that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess it's possible. Smolitz did do it, and that's what people comparing him to. But I don't know that he did that. I don't prove that. All I know is that I didn't do it, and I'm sick and tired of people saying I did. So if you think I did some shit like that, or you think I'm racist enough to fucking hate Puerto Ricans, fuck you. My campaign managers are Puerto Rican. And again, I always say to people, if you think I'm racist and you're a person of color, leave me with your mom for about an hour. Well, 2. And let's see how racist I really am. I have no problem. I feel like, honestly, I know this is going to sound weird, but if you really want to end racism, just everybody should intermix. That way we're all one race. Do another race day. Impregnate. But that's bad news for me. You have to wait until men can give birth and then we do it. But we've got to all become one before we can, ever defeat that. That's the problem. And that's why I see everybody as one. You're all my people. Brown, white, black, but not all of you have suffered the same. And that's the difference. African Americans, Puerto Ricans, Hispanics, Asians have suffered more. Chinese, really. I mean, suffered more than most. And people don't realize it. They just don't. And white people, well, we did it. My bad. Our bad. But, so before we get into this next one, we're going to talk about the issue and the way they did the banning and all that good stuff. We're going to play a quick little break, and I'll be right back. Hey there, folks. Aaron here at Unplugged with Aaron Knapp. I want to give you a quick reminder for everyone watching that the City of Lorain holds its regular City Council meetings on the first and third Monday of every month. And those meetings are not just for council members. They are for residents. If you care about what happens in your city, and if you speak or want to speak on an issue, ask a question, or simply be present and informed, showing up matters. Participation matters. Even sitting in the room and listening matters. You do not need to be an expert on any of this. You do not need permission to care. You do not need to do anything other than just show up. So check the agenda, folks. Mark your calendar. And if something affects your neighborhood, your family, or your future, take a seat, raise your hand, and make your voice part of the record. Lorain City Council, first and third Monday. Your city, your meetings. Those council meetings start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they're held inside of City Hall. Make sure you attend this Monday's meeting. Hey there, folks. Asking, I'm in a public area, bro.
Pretty soon what he's going to do is he's going to say that he can't continue with the meeting because you won't exit.
And that's not my problem. You work for me.
I don't work for you.
You do work for me. I pay taxes. You work for the city of Lorain. No, there's no agree to disagree, Mayor. Mayor, there's no agree to disagree.
And what they're going to do is they'll just close the meeting.
Down to all of our departments and assure that as part of our regular checklist that we have for many projects, that we can visit this. This is not a common area because we typically don't waive fees. So it's one of those areas that we'll revisit here as we move along.
Thank you, Mr. Carrigan.
Say something? Then why aren't we? Say something? Then why are we? You want to get an attitude? You work for me, Carry On. Yeah, get it. Do it.
Mr. Knapp, let's have it.
Ohio. I just want to remind people that your voice does matter, and people like that charge should not be in office, in my most humble opinion. You see, he just gets up here and bashes a damn former.
Are you going to address the council or me?
I'm talking. So anyways, I'm going to finish what I'm saying because I don't ever come here anymore, and I have a right to. He is, in my most humble opinion, a piece of shit. The city's already no. They need to know. He causes trouble. He's a fucking headache.
I'm just trying to figure out like exactly how she gets to run her yap like that on city council. I didn't hear Ray going, "Oh no," she said derogatory statements to Aaron. Where were you to defend me there, Ray? You sat back and let that shit happen. But now suddenly you're concerned, you big crybaby. I'm really upset. But hey, the bigger issue here is what the city did in response to, what I did, right? The city issued a directive banning me from all municipal property. All municipal property. Not just one building, not just one meeting, everything. No hearing, no appeal, no expiration date, no process, no due process at all, right? At some point, you just got to ask that very simple question. Well, if this was lawful, why wasn't it done through some sort of a lawful process? Why wasn't there a policy in place? Why wasn't there a hearing? Why wasn't there a defined procedure? Because it didn't happen. They were making it up as they went on. And my boy Mauricio will get a kick out of this one. At least a statement is justification. Justification. See, justification. Why does the justification come after the action? Always. Because they got to make up shit to justify the fucking bullshit they did, like Rivera, like McCann, and now like Fowling. Because let's just be honest, Mr. Fowling, you broke your oath. So if what the city did was unlawful and they had no legal basis to do it, when you enforced it, I feel like that's a violation of your oath, and that's something you could lose your qualified immunity for. I'm pretty sure that's what I told you that night outside City Hall. What would you said? Thank you. Yeah, that was right. Thank you, right? You big dumb ox. Dude, seriously, you're going to lose your job over these pieces of shit? I literally put you in office thinking you were going to be the better man. You broke my heart that night, man. I honestly believe that you were the next hope. You were a man of color. You were a man of few words, but you seemed to have the respect of everyone in the department. Instead, you fucking fucked off and did this dumb shit. The fuck kind of idiot does that? I mean, honestly, I have no respect for people who don't understand the laws and the Constitution that they swear to uphold. And for anybody outside of my circle or outside of someone that's ever actually sworn an oath to anything, if you have comments about me or my love of the Constitution, fuck off. Because if you haven't sworn an oath, you mean nothing to me when it comes to your opinion on that. You can have opinions on everything else, but don't give an opinion on an oath that you've never taken. Give an opinion on grass you've cut. Give an opinion on flowers you've grown. Give an opinion on ass you tapped. But don't give an opinion on an oath you've never honored, swore, or had to uphold yourself. Don't give an opinion on an oath that other men and women have spread and died and spent their blood to uphold while you sit at home under the very blanket of freedom that oath applies to and gives you. As you sit back here and just suckle at the teat of the fucking freedom that my actual sacrifice gave you, all while talking shit to me, fuck you. Hey, let me think. All the people that I can think of, I can't. Anybody that's ever talked crap about me because I don't remember your names because you don't matter, fuck you. Because that's not how lawful government works. Lawful government acts within defined authority lists, right? It doesn't act first and then go looking for the authority later. And what happened here is the directive came first and the justification came later. See, justification came later as always. Because he comes online way late at night. Check out my boy Mauricio. He's always out there doing that cop watch out there for you guys tonight. And I know a lot of you don't like it. You're like, oh my God, I see you here more than Aaron. Well, that's a feat in itself. You should watch him and follow him just because he's doing it more than that. But what? You're mad because he's holding police accountable because he's asking them questions and videoing them? You guys should be thankful for that shit. But no, you don't get that. And just like the justification that came later, that's backwards. I want to be careful here because I'm not inside, their decision-making process at the LPD or anything. And I don't know what they were thinking internally, but I look at the pattern. And I look at the pattern between them and the Lorraine police and the Lorraine law and Lorraine government. When you look at the pattern, what you see is a decision made without clear authority, followed by an attempt to justify it with Tim Williams writing a letter. And then they're like, oh, we're just going to back that shit, supported by incomplete or unclear facts. And when you see the pattern, it raises a reasonable question, right? Was this about safety or was it about control? Control over criticism, control over access, control over who gets to show up and who gets to participate. They did the same thing with Garen. They wanted to charge him. And Garen, how's what I just did any different than what you did except for, no, not at all. Because both of them happened after the meeting. So Garen got charged with a crime, but now they're fucking around. Now, Tia, who approached me at the meeting today, and tried to talk to me, a person I'm suing who I wasn't going to have an interaction with, who tried to get me to shake her hand. Honestly, I'm not touching her hands. Gross. I don't know where they've been. I'm not shaking your hand. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. I don't know what you've been doing in the back of a bar on your knees with your hands. I don't know what you've touched. I do know that there's a video circulating that a very attorney who I saw today representing Mr. Carrion, Joseph Levesque, has actually brought that up in court apparently one time, that you were in the back taking care of a bunch of different patrons in the back of a bar once. I don't know if that's true or not. I heard it through the grapevine. But seeing as how you want to walk up and talk to me, just for the record, I'm not touching your hand ever. I've seen those little cold sores around your mouth, and I'm afraid I might get something. So please, Miss Hilton, I have no desire to engage with you, talk to you. I'm not talking shit about you. I'm talking truth about you. I'm sharing your booking profile after you, and then you walk up to me like a dumb bitch and try to shake my hand and be like, oh, I want to introduce myself. Bitch, you don't think I don't know who you are? You brought a restraining order against me. You put me in the paper. You talk mad shit all the time. Your high-pitched, squeaky, uncontrolled voice is fucking more annoying than my persistence. You don't think I don't know who you are? You think I need you to educate me on who your dumbass is? Fuck you, bitch. Seriously, like your own husband hates you, your kid hates you, your friends ditch you. Like 1 minute you love JD, the next minute you hate JD. 1 minute he's your hero, then you're mad at me because I said something about him. The next minute you hate him because he's, domestic violence. Fuck you. You're looking for the next wave to ride in, and I'm not it. The only wave you're ever going to ride in is the fat wave when you slap yourself and fucking ride that motherfucker in. Otherwise, that's what I call shit talking. You shit talking me. No, Tia, I've never begun to shit talk you, dumb bitch ass. You're a redneck, trailer park trash living hoe. You got fucking more spots on your fucking mouth than a fucking leopard has spots. You run around sucking every guy's fucking shit that you can. And the only reason you don't like me is because I won't let you do it. I got pictures of you with your lawyer after court at the Lincoln Day dinner. And the reason why your husband left you, oh, why? Well, because you're banging every guy in town? No, I didn't come by your house on purpose. I avoid you just like I avoid Ray Carrion on purpose. I don't want to be around any of you skanky bitches. I've seen what all of you fuckers do. I don't want nothing to do with you. Like, I have nothing to do with you. And I'm not saying that that's why, what anyone ever intended, right? To control access of what I'm dealing with or to try to control me when I'm not going to be controlled. But I'm saying that that's what it looks like when you put it all together. So why would I support any of you? Because the Constitution is specifically designed to prevent that kind of situation. And it seems like our government doesn't give a shit. No, stop. Now, it's designed to make sure that government power is not discretionary when you look at these, because the Constitution is specifically designed for that, right? It's a beautiful document. It's not based on who likes someone. It's not based on, who blows someone in the back of a bar. It's not based on which lawyer tells which lawyer what to do about which situation. It's not based on the lies that your government tells to other people or to you to blow smoke up your ass. It's not based on the fakeness that Jack Bradley and his wife put on, even though other people have heard him say, well, it'll be him next that gets fucking, come after. You guys don't think I don't know all the dirt and all the deets. You guys hit me up like you have nothing to lose. You hit me up like I'm not a good person. Because if I wasn't a good person, those videos people have given me of all of you would already have been released. I'm trying not to do what that one government lady and I don't follow the federal government much. What was the guy that just got fired? She said, "Well, if we fired everybody, like if we exposed everybody, the whole government would shut down in the Epstein files." Well, that's kind of where we're at right now. If I release all my videos, you guys don't have a government, so let's just not do that. Stop poking the bear. I got my full veterans pension. I'm gonna get paid for the rest of my fucking life, tax free at the rate I was getting more than I was getting paid working by about a couple grand a year. Not a lot, but enough. I'm a happy camper. And that's all because the city of Lorraine officials decided to make my life a living fucking hell. Let that sink in. Not only will they end up having to pay me taxpayer dollars because of all of this, they've caused me to have to go back on taxpayer dollar salary when I was trying to get off it. Went back to school for 6 years to be a social worker, and James McCann defeated that in 1 year. And Jack Bradley and Joseph Levesque and Ray Carrion all participated like the bitches that they are, and they did what they did. And yes, I'm sorry, Ray, that's a derogatory comment, bitches. If that hurts your little special feelings, then don't be a bitch. And they go file another restraining order. Oh, Your Honor, it hurt my feelings. The judge will be like, oh, Muffin, it's so hard being you. Because when, power becomes discretionary, rights become optional, especially for Ray Carrion. Now let's talk about what happened in the court, right? I'm going to be fair here. The judge questioned me. I was challenged. It wasn't one-sided. Fuck, they hammered my bitch ass, right? They didn't give me a chance to respond, but they knew I was right. They got their licks in. But when the law was applied, the court still granted the TRO. I knew it was going to happen. They wanted to get their licks in because they felt bad. They wanted to make the city feel good. Well, we know what you're trying to do here, but you're going to be indexed, which means the city is currently blocked from enforcing that directive. So even if that, after scrutiny, even after the challenge, the legal issue still stood. Well, that tells you that's not my opinion. It's not just an opinion. For all you fuckers out there saying, oh, it's just your opinion. Oh, you're going to see how happens you lose in court. The real legal problem is what was done and how it was done. So when you put it all together, what you have is this. You have protected speech from me. You have vague allegations from them and Ray, right? Especially Ray. I mean, he said something derogatory. You don't get a restraining order for that. The fact that Deezer issued it just goes to prove that what she did in the T.A. Hilton case, when I questioned her then, she's a worthless judge and a worthless magistrate. And I say that without any feelings about it. If you're so fucking stupid that you would grant a motion off of that, then you don't deserve to hold a judgeship. And you guys should be questioning the judge that you elected that would be willing to put a dumbass bitch like that in charge of a case. And yeah, I expect that she'll hear this, and I expect she'll recuse herself because she's already handled my cases. We're already working on recusing the entire judiciary of Lorraine County because all of them are so fucking far up each other's asses that they can't see a case to actually, adjudicate. You look at Ray, you got protected speech from me. You have vague allegations from him. You have unclear dates from him. You have statements taken out of context. A statement made in the video at the end of a statement long after he had gotten in his car, been walked out and left by the police chief because the police chief walked him to his car so he could drive away. And he drove away and wiped the tears away as he drove off. I'm pretty sure he picked up the phone. Hello? It's me. Is it you I'm looking for? You said me thanks to me at City Hall. And now I'm crying down the road. All I know is that you're going to make me feel so bad at home. Anyway, sorry, I get carried away. But you have protected speech, allegations, vague, of course, unclear dates. Give me a date, whatever that date is, so I can actually fact check you. These aren't ground. The fact they haven't dismissed it already. You used the citywide ban and you had no process. Tim Williams, all of them. You guys just jeopardized your qualified immunity. You're going to pay out of pocket. Is that what you want? I don't want to take all of your livelihoods. I don't want to take all of your ability to support your family. Ray just lost his dad. Everybody says, both sides. You're an asshole or you should take it for all their worth. How about neither? How about The insurance company gives me a monetary settlement that covers the value of my job. The insurance company gives me a monetary settlement that values the monetary agreements that values what they did to me. The defendants themselves give a small portion, just like Rivera has to give of their salary or their whatnot back to me, or better yet, maybe a charity I choose. That feels better instead of the government and the taxpayer. Like the government and the insurance company pays Aaron. Anything that would be designated to come out of the government's pocket, i.e., not the government but the officials like Ray Carrion or Jack Bradley. If I receive any singular money from those individuals from these lawsuits, I'm going to say it now out loud on record, hold me accountable to it, and then my friends are in here. That money goes back to the people. So if Ray did something wrong, guess what? I'm giving you the money, the people. So if I get money from Ray because of what he did, not from the government, like it doesn't come from taxpayer dollars, it comes from Ray's pocketbook. Robin Hood, baby. Because, I want to make sure I get this shit right. Because at the end of the day, and after all of that is being used to justify restricting my access, the citizens' access to public government, those spaces, which in the end, they were so mad that they had to give me space again today, right? That's not how the Constitution works, folks. Rights don't just disappear because somebody's offended. They don't disappear because someone uses a word like derogatory. I mean, go fuck off with that derogatory. Derogatory use. I mean, hey, a very excellent use of the English language. Derogatory is a very, very strong word, Mr. Carrion. I appreciate that use. And as somebody that's a scholar of the English language, I appreciate your use of that word. Derogatory would be fitting of something you've done to me, but maybe not so much to me to you. And, these words don't disappear because the narrative you built is, there and it doesn't have full context. The Constitution does not stop at the doors of City Hall like they like to believe. And right now the law says it doesn't, right? It just did. It said it doesn't. That's what we ended up with. We ended up with the law saying that this doesn't happen. These are opened up her new case. But in the case with my current judge Cook and my magistrate Butler, Butler and I didn't see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. She was rightfully offended by what I said. I don't doubt that she was appalled and offended. I would have felt maybe a little negative if she wasn't. I would feel bad if none of you, honestly, every one of you should be appalled and offended by my behavior. I am. But the bigger question is, are you more appalled by the behavior, or are you more appalled by the behavior that led to the behavior? These people have forced me into this position. I didn't start here. I started as a veteran trying to go to a concert with my brother at Rockin' on the River when I first got to Lorraine, and your dick of a chief of police basically said, file a lawsuit. And since then, that's all I've ever heard. File a lawsuit, file a lawsuit, file a lawsuit. And yet here we are. And I file a lawsuit and everyone gets mad. So if you're mad I filed a lawsuit, fuck off. If you're mad I didn't file a lawsuit, fuck off. If you're mad at me, fuck off. I don't care. Like, look, I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. Never me harder said no patriot ever. Bradley, I know you talked a lot of shit and you lost. And you came into a hearing where you were a witness and you didn't leave. You violated your own oath of office and procedures by not leaving. And then you whispered in that attorney's ear as well as other attorneys trying to give him advice on how to beat me. And you guys still lost. God, that's sad. And Scotty. Oh, Scotty Bowles. Scotty doesn't know, baby, right? Scotty doesn't know. I feel like that'd be like Dawn singing to Riley to Scott. Scotty doesn't know that Riley and me do it every night. Scotty doesn't know that we're always in the back office while he's working up late at night. Anyway, I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Today was a day of vindication, I feel like. I mean, it's not a major win. It's not like... And if you watch my video, I roll in there, I do my thing, and I leave. I do want to address before I go the fact that Tia Hilton decided it was appropriate to walk up and try to talk to me within that. I'm currently suing her, and I have no conversation to be in with her because she's not a government official. Even in Ray's case, I don't communicate with him or Bradley or any of them outside of their professional capacity. Because if I address them outside of that, that's back to my lawsuit. So Ray thinks I want to talk to him, and I don't. They're not anybody that thinks anybody that believes Ray believes that I'm a fear to him is full of shit, and you know it. You know Ray's not scared of me. This is all ploy. It's all a game, and they've been playing it for a very long time. So if you, as a human being, see this game going on and you're not appalled by it, then hey, carry on. Watch the rest of my podcast, go on about your day, and be happy. Otherwise, sit back, watch, act, react, call, text, fix, or maybe yet become the new me. I've seen many people lately saying we should all do this. We should all go on. We should all. Yes, that's the goal, folks. Mass numbers. Once you all put them under the microscope, they'll start being accountable to themselves, and you won't have to do the work anymore. And neither will I. And since I don't have to do anything anymore, I'm going to get paid every month full. No one can touch that money because it's a veteran's pension and it's protected. So barking up my tree now is moot. So I strongly suggest the government powers to be give me what I want, which is a lawful society. Pull your heads out of your asses. Stop being unlawful. Stop taking from the people. Stop taking from the people that love me, and stop taking from the people that hate me. Stop taking from the people. No taxation without representation, folks. For the rest of you out there, law enforcement, be lawful, not awful. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Again, celebrate the victory. We won. It's not some jump up and down victory, because again, it's a victory against the government that I love. It makes me sad to think that they didn't understand this and that I had to explain it to them. It makes me even more sad that I've explained to them multiple times and they slept on it. Maybe you should question that next time you go to the voting booth. Maybe you should go to the voting booth. Register to vote, folks. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you guys next time.